Hello and welcome to our demo on basic uses of poll pods in Adobe Connect. For this demo, we are going to pretend that we are the instructor of a course using poll pods to better interact and work with students. To begin, we're going to open a new poll pod. And to do so, we'll go to the top left corner of the window and click on Pods. A drop-down menu will appear, and from that we'll select the poll option, and then we'll click on Add New Poll. And the poll will appear on the screen. We can resize this to be whatever size we want. And then we're going to select what kind of poll we want to create. So there's three kinds of polls. The first one that we're going to do is a multiple choice. And we'll select that by clicking on this little drop-down menu in the top left-hand corner of the pod and select multiple choice. This one, we're going to ask students what they would like to talk about today. So in the bar labeled question, we can type, "What would you like to discuss today?" Okay, and then in the text box below that, we'll type in the answer options, separating each one by hitting the Enter key to put it on a new line. So for example, maybe we have a few different lessons already prepared about writing styles, comma use, grammar, poetry, okay, and however many options you want to put, you can just keep hitting enter between each one, and then once you've done that, you can click on open, and this opens the poll for students to respond. Okay, when we open the poll, the question that we typed becomes the title of the poll, and then students are allowed to select just one because this is a multiple choice poll pod. Okay, so they can only choose one, and then afterwards we can see, when we end the poll, we'll see all the responses. Okay, so the next kind of poll we're going to create is a multiple answer. And we're going to do this by going to Pods, Poll, Add New Poll. So it's going to pull it up again, and we'll just resize it to fit the page. And then the only difference between this kind of poll and the multiple choice is that this one students can select more than one answer. So maybe we want to know what topics from our lesson were confusing to the students. So this time our question can be, what are you having trouble understanding? Okay, or even just, what are you having trouble understanding about the lesson? And then, same thing, answer is just one per line, so we'll just hit enter between each one. So maybe today we talked about continental drift, and that could be confusing, or volcanoes, or maybe the earthquakes, or maybe Earth's mantle. Okay, and then once again we'll just go up to the top right hand corner and click on open, and this opens it for students to respond. Okay, so if a student is maybe confused about continental drift and volcanoes and Earth's mantle, they can select all three, and then we as an instructor know, well, we need to maybe go back and cover those again. Okay, and we can go back and edit or reopen it anytime somebody be like, oh, I also wanted to ask them about island arcs, if they're understanding those, and then you can reopen it and it adds that option. Okay. The final kind of poll we can create is an open-ended or short answer poll. So once again, we'll go up to Pods, select Poll, Add New Poll, and then for this one's a little bit different because it is open-ended. So we'll go down and select Short Answer, and then this kind of poll is great for gathering feedback. So we could ask, what was helpful in today's lesson? So maybe there was a specific thing that we use, maybe a video or a clip that was helpful, and they can respond. So when we open it, it gives students the options to type their answer here. So maybe a student liked the video of the butterflies. Okay, and they can submit that, and then all the answers of the students will show up in this list for us to see. Okay, and then once again, when you end the poll, it closes it to the students and we can see all the responses. Another way to use this kind of poll, so if we go to edit, maybe we want to quiz students. So we could ask a question like, what is the first stage of metamorphosis? Okay, so once we've done that, we can open it and students can type in their answers. So we can use this as a quiz, or we can use it to get feedback. There's different ways to use each of these kinds of pods, but those are some of the basic uses.